Hello, my dear students. We're ending this unforgettable fall semester and headed to 2021. What has not ended is the pandemic and the economic recession that have devastated plans, hurt loved ones, and taken lives. Times will probably continue to be difficult for a while, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. They are talking of a vaccine, and it's being suggested that the economy, after some further bumps, is very likely to recover in the second or third quarter of next year. Never forget that in the midst of all this scenario and facing your own personal challenges, you still found the determination to continue your formal education. I commend you again for this and thank you for being in my class, Sociology 127. Commend you for your intellectual curiosity, your academic work, your debates, for sharing a very personal and touching experiences, and for the kindness that many of you showed towards this professor. As I have tried to emphasize throughout the semester, we're creatures of a very complex social, economic, and political reality in which there are no simple answers to the numerous problems we face. In my opinion, we should never forget to use our sociological imagination to move away from commonsensical explanations that misinform and create false alternative realities. Science and research are probably what better inform us and help us develop an understanding of our multidimensional societies. Science, not dogmas and fundamentalism. As we thoroughly discussed in our criminology class, many Americans continue to stubbornly believe that crime rates have increased throughout the decades, when statistics from the FBI itself contradict their perception and suggest that since the early 1990s, they have been going down. The consequently get tough on crime mentality has resulted in draconian laws and more than 2.3 million Americans in jails and prisons. This disturbing picture is compounded by the fact that many of those in prison are members of racial and ethnic minorities, and many are poor. In my opinion, and as the research and many social scientists suggest, the criminal justice system desperately needs to be reformed. As many of you have suggested in our class, reforms of this very dysfunctional American criminal justice system need to be part of a broader reconfiguration of our American experiment that, despite 244 years of democracy, requires a revision of institutions such as the anachronic Electoral College that denies the will of the people, institutions that attempted to rationalize torture, and institutions that allowed children to be separated from their mothers and be detained in cages. But don't get me wrong, in my opinion, this is a magnificent country that, despite slavery and Jim Crow, despite the internment of Japanese Americans, McCarthyism, despite the manifest destiny and the imperialist mentality of some, has produced a Jefferson, a Lincoln, a Thoreau, an Edison, a Dr. King Jr., a Chavez, has helped revolutionize the sciences, medicine, agriculture, and at the personal level has opened its door for this refugee who fled the atrocities of the Argentine military dictatorship of the 1970s to start a family in this country with a statue of liberty that proclaims, quote, give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, unquote. I thank you again for these 16 weeks, and I wish you and your families the best. Never forgetting that the biggest challenge of the day, the coronavirus, is not a political issue. It's a healthcare attack that threatens all of us. Please protect yourself by wearing a mask, social distancing, avoiding gatherings, and getting the vaccine as soon as it's available. In doing so, you're not only protecting yourself, but your children, parents, grandparents, and your community. All the best, my dear friends. All the best.